Everyone on YouTube is looking for the perfect vocal preset, but that's not how I actually get my sound. Today, I'm breaking down the entire vocal chain I use, explaining what every plugin does, why it's there, and how I actually tweak it. But the biggest thing isn't even the preset. The biggest reason my vocals come out the way they do is because I record completely dry while monitoring through my effects chain. That one workflow completely changed the way I record, edit, and mix vocals. I'm gonna be showing you how to go from a sound like this and turn it into a sound like this.
Like, oh my God, check it, walking and roll the blunt. Post it, light up and smoke the blunt. My boss is the chosen one.
You can look at my preset folder. Aside from the stock presets that they give you, I don't have much. I think presets really are misunderstood. People download a preset expecting it to magically make them sound like someone else. That's never gonna happen. A preset is just a starting point. Every microphone is different, every room is different, every voice is different. The reason presets exist is to save time, not replace mixing. 70% comes from the energy and performance of my vocal takes, 20% comes from listening and making adjustments. My preset really only gets me 10% of the way there. Here is the dry vocal.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, like, oh my God, check it, walking and roll the blunt. Post it, light up and smoke the blunt. My boss is the chosen one. Just letting you know, okay. Like, really, she don't do it much, but when mama showing out, I know niggas looking around. Yeah, got little shorty cooking now. Okay, past tense.
Here is the wet version.
Yeah, yeah, like, oh my God, check it, walking and roll the blunt. Post it, light up and smoke the blunt. My boss is the chosen one. Just letting you know, like, really, she don't do it much, but when mama showing out, I know niggas looking around. Yeah, got little shorty cooking now.
Alright, this is probably the biggest takeaway from this entire video. I never record my vocals with effects printed onto the recording. My vocal is always recorded completely dry. The effects you're hearing are only there for monitoring. Why is that? Because hearing compression, EQ, and reverb while I record helps me perform better. It lets me hear the final version while I'm recording. Because the recording itself is completely dry, I have total freedom when it comes to the mixing process. I'm able to change my EQs. I'm able to change how I compress my vocal if I don't like how it sounds, the reverb that I use, and the sends. Nothing is baked into my recording. That is the goal here. As we look at each plugin, you'll see how they each give me the confidence to perform, as well as my mindset on presets fully realized. Each plugin is meant to work towards a goal. I don't want to do too much in one plugin, and I don't want to use multiple plugins to achieve the same goal if I don't have to. It's a balance. That's why we call it a mix. First, I have my auto-tune access, which I'm actually going to switch to Metatune as I just got it. As you can see here, it's nothing too crazy, just in key and very human-like tune. I prefer Metatune because not only does it have a really simple interface, and it's also engineered for recording, as you can see by this low latency button. If I was to turn that off, that would be if I was mixing, trying to get a fully realized version of the sound that I'm going for. I like Metatune because it allows me to customize my vocal, my tune, the width of my tune, and then also apply that to just a lead vocal, and then save settings and apply that to my ad-libs and layers respectively. Because I'm always going to be in the same key, but maybe I want a wider vocal, or maybe I want a more tuned vocal, and that goes back to doing less with more. This EQ, I'm using really just to kill the mids, as you can see by this preset. I actually tweaked it to be a little less aggressive, and I find here that it's even more aggressive listening the second time. So, to keep it real simple, all I do is turn the knob down just to put it in parallel. That's really all I had to do here. As for why I use this EQ, I wanted some saturation from my equalizer, as well as controlling my voice before I use dynamics, and knowing how I sounded that day, I was very nasally, so I really wanted to control that before I compressed it. Next, I have this vintage preamp by Arturia. This is really just to give me some color and some drive as I go into my compression. So compression is really the only thing I like to do multiple instances of when it comes to cleaning up most any kind of tracks, but especially vocals. The first compressor is really used to de-ess everything, and that one is very light, and then I go and control my dynamics after they're being de-essed, and that is with this 1176 style compressor right here. This next one's gonna throw a lot of people for a loop. So my gate really ends my chain, or is closer towards the end, and that's because with everything that I've shown you, I've already kind of cleaned and prepared my vocal to be gated, and also I have a treated room, I have an SM7B, and I have good mic placement. So with all those factors in mind, I'm really only looking to cut out what's being amplified. If I cut it out before, I find that when I go to amplify it, I'm too busy tweaking the gate to get what little is left of the room. And you can hear as I A and B how that kind of starts to affect as I play with the noise gate to find that balance when I actually turn the beat off.
Just do it, ain't nothing to do. I just had to lock in and see that I could get through it. All these niggas talk down on me, but they never will. Just do it.
These last two plugins were just a part of the preset that I made. This was really just me messing around with YouTube beats and recording, seeing what worked and what didn't. And for this track, I didn't need it, mainly because I didn't get far enough to make a premix where I would start to do stereo enhancement and side chaining. And so that was the use for both the mid-side EQ and track spacer. Leave a comment down below, by the way, if you want me to tell you how I use that mid-side EQ exclusively in FL Studio. Spoiler alert, it's through a patcher. Alright, so we have to remember a couple of things. One, a preset is just a starting point. It's only 10%. 70% is going to be your recording, your performance, and 20% is going to be your ears. You guys just saw, as I showed you everything, I made changes. Things didn't sound as good the second time around, and that's important. You have to use that information that you get from your ears, not from your eyes. And I know, everybody says use your ears, but you can see here how that really comes into play. What I'm listening for, what I'm trying to get out of my voice. I want my voice to sound good when I'm recording, but in this instance, I'm just seeing, okay, what does it sound like? Can I go take this to the car, and is it gonna sound alright? Because at that point, I'm gonna take these different plugins that I've used, and I may tweak them some more, or I may print those in, and that's where I would start doing playlist chops and lots of more destructive things to my audio. If you found this video helpful and you want more videos like this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be sure to make more for you guys.